What's up, PMC type people? It's your boy Burb, coach of your New South Wailmers, bringing you week 2 of the PMC. This week we are up against Sharpino, who is an infamous Australian player for a couple of reasons. A couple of seasons ago, he famously knocked out Verd after realising Z Blaziken was not legal. And secondly, he is a victim of the man, the myth, the legend, the Pedonison, the Hera Horde abuser with the Scarfer, and also the Probo Pass, which ended Sharp. Now, this was definitely an interesting game. Where to begin? It's a very interesting question, because when you play someone like Sharp, who sort of fits into that A-Drive mold, you really don't know what you're going to get. And that was probably going to be the biggest issue with playing Sharp this week. Sharp predominantly does shiny hunting content, and he's had some real mixed results in the PMC, and is a very inconsistent coach when it comes to what do they bring and how do their results go. And that was definitely something scary. Also as well, it doesn't help when your two favourite Boswells are always egging you on that I could do better from last week, and I thought that this was an opportunity to really do so. I'm not going to lie, I am a little bit salty about my result and how I played, but I think that it's best to sometimes be honest. I'm not trying to take anything away from Sharp, but I personally think I didn't play this game the best. The mods I did bring to this game was a Mega Sizzle set that Cos recommended, being the Toxic Bullet Punch U-Turn Roost Mega Sizz. It was the 3 attacks, Defog, Lando T. I removed Block sort of last minute. Komodo again is coming as that rocker roll with 3 attacks, mixed as well. Zerkatry sub 3 attacks. I didn't think that the Slurpuff EVs were going to make that much of a difference in the game, provided that Sharp got rocks up. However, as I said before, he's a real mixed bag, and I didn't know how important or how he will prioritize his hazards. We have Garboda, which is Toxic, Spikes, Pain Split, and Gunk Shot. Sharp, on the other hand, brought Ditto, which I really didn't know what item it was going to be. I got bodied in a mock by Light Clay Ditto, and that was something that I really was spooked of. Next up, he had the Quag, which I really assumed to be Rindoberry. There's no real other Quag set to bring against me. Delphox, something like fast, like Calm Mind Delphox could potentially put in the source if it really got going. Scolipede, I expected like a lead hazard set. Krookodiles, I expected Life Orb. I didn't really think much of the Rapid Spin or Defog set, didn't make a lot of sense. And then Darmanitan, either Bandage or Flame Plate. I knew that thing was going to be a threat from preview. My prep immediately is sort of ruined. Massively over prepped for Mega Kang, Skarmory. Those were the 2 mods that Sharp elected not to bring. I'm still very confused as to why that was. I'm definitely sure if you check out his side of the battle, he will be very happy for some new fans, but also to explain to you guys why he didn't. And there are probably some very good reasons, and I'm probably just underestimating the man behind the myth of Sharpino. So let's get right into the game. From preview, I pretty much established that Lando is a free lead. His only sort of hazards he's brought against me is that Scolipede. The only unfavourable matchup is the Krookodiles, and even then, I know that Krookodiles is such a big threat that I really can't do much against it. The Ditto is the lead of his choice. Now, this is sort of an interesting... The Ditto comes in as his lead against my Landorus, and this may seem like an interesting play, but I decided that the best play here was to knock off. The main reason for it was to potentially get rid of Rindo on Quag, also as well to get rid of the Choice Scarf on Ditto, and I also knew that with my moveset I could potentially bait in Scully, and I expected Z-Move Scully to come because it is one of his 2 Z-moves. So the Sash set, I thought, okay, this next turn, in case it is SD Scully, I do not want to give it a chance to set up for free. I'm going to go for the Rocky MZ. This is a lure set. Rocky MZ off the Smackdown is guaranteed to OHKO this Scolipede, and I didn't think Sharp would be like, okay, let's go PMC type people. It's going to be OHKO with Rockium. That was a really nice sort of change that I made to this team, and I'm really happy that I do have Rockium Lando T. The Z move go off nice and powerful, and as predicted, bye-bye Scully. And that, now this is where I get a little bit too cocky and think, alright, this game is pretty much over. But that's a massive misconception here. I make a very obvious switch this turn by going into my Mega Sizzle. Mega Sizzle is the most expendable member on the team, essentially. And I really didn't know what this Pokemon was going to have. And he does get the Life Orb HP Fire crit.
Yes! Let's go! Let's go! Woo-hoo-hoo! Let's go!
Now this crit did not matter. But I was very emotionally invested into this Pokemon game, and that crit sort of threw me a curveball, to say. Now, I bring in Cardinals into here because it's sort of my best Krookodiles answer if I can get off a Gunk Shot. I'm forced to Gunk Shot here. Krookodiles is too big of a threat for me not to start doing anything about it. What sort of item it is, if it's leftovers, or if it's potentially like clay or something like that, still isn't revealed, so I'm going to assume Scarf for now. The way he's playing it, there is really nothing that my Garbodor set does to my team, and that sort of really confirms to me that he is to Scarf Ditto. Quagsire comes out. I decide to go for a Toxic over a second layer of Spikes because I want to whittle down this Quag. If Quag is the last one standing, it's going to be a massive problem for my team. It is most likely going to be Rindo Berry, but also as well with that Unaware. It's the only real thing stopping a Slurpuff sweep. Slurpuff is really the win con here because of how early my Mega Sizz went down. Mega Sizz wasn't really a win con in the sense that it was going to break his team indefinitely, but it could potentially stall out in the game a few turns after I get rid of both Delphox and Darm. I go for the Plane Split here because I want to get back any health from that Quag and I can live another one, and as well, if he does switch out Quag, I can get a nice Pain Split off. He does go into that Krookodiles, and he does go for another big Life Orb hit. Gunk Shot. I missed the Gunk Shot. It really sucks. Krookodiles in to Sharp. Dodges another thing, and I was so angry when that happened because this Krookodiles had to live way too long. It's past its expiration date. It's not almond milk ice cream. It's regular ice cream. It's been out in the sun for too long. I make a misplay with my Xurkitree this turn. I go for T-Bolt. I just want to kill this Krookodiles. I know that set of the Ditto that's going to sweep me. And locks himself into T-Bolt. I go into Landorus, or if I lock myself into, he locks himself into Energy Ball. I'm going to bluff that Komodo has a potential to be like Choice Band and Oko it, because I'm not going to muck around with Ditto. Ditto is such a stupid mon in format. I still don't think it's as good as everyone makes it out to be, even though Ditto did a phenomenal job this game. So we sacked the Xurkitree this turn. There's no reason not to. The Energy Ball comes in, so I go, alright, it's time to bring in the big boy Komodo, because everything else is dead. We're sort of down at this point. I think we're down 5-3, and it's going to be a hard game to play. We're down 4-3 at this stage. It's going to be a hard game to come back into. We go into the Komodo here. I'm not mucking around with Ditto. I'm going for Drain Punch. I do not care. I want to start creating a favourable matchup. We are down, but the ideal situation is that we go for the Drain Punch here. We don't have our Rocks up. Rocks are a little bit too late to be set up, and it's going to be time for Landorus to really break this team. And once Landorus breaks his team, I know that Slurpuff is going to come in. So we're down 4-3. We go into the big boy Landorus. Landorus is a phenom. Now we are rocking the E-Power this week, and we are adamant, no investment, but Earth Power is still my best shot. I don't want to knock off here because it doesn't make any sense to do so. And I think we leave about 75%, I want to say. And this turn is another kicker in the teeth. Kicker in the groin. It really wanted to make the battle for the Sydney Harbour Bridge 10 times harder. And that was a real shame. The spike damage from earlier helps with a little bit of chip. And Earth Power... Okay, I'm going to see here how much he actually lives on because I'm really intrigued. He literally lives on 1 HP. And that is really an insult to my boy Lando. Lando has been mistreated the first 2 weeks it's come. And I know now that I have to sack off my Landorus, which absolutely annoys me. But it creates the ideal situation. And I really want to spend a little bit of time why this is a great situation. So double down. Sharp is up 3-2. And there are only 3 options that Sharp has. The Delphox, Ditto, and Quag. I have Komodo, and I have Komodo and Slurpuff in the back. Even with Slurpuff being misgened, it can still win me this battle. Because it has Energy Ball for the Quag. If Quag comes out, I go for Energy Ball. But at the same time, it's going to be a bitch of a game to play. Because of the fact that Sharp... I need to essentially hit 2 play roughs to win. That is my win con. Hitting 2 play roughs with the Slurpuff. If the Delphox comes in, I don't know what set it is, it's leftovers, I assume it's going to be bulky, but it's not taking a +6 play rough to the face. Delphox is so weak on the physical side of things, like 60-60 or something like that. I know it's not going to take a play rough to the face. It can definitely put a bit of offensive pressure on. If Ditto comes in, I just belly jump for free and that's game. He cannot touch the rest of my team. I have play rough to Oko the Fox. I have Energy Ball to essentially put a massive amount of pressure on into the Quag, and this is where I've sort of executed this win con, where I think sort of perfectly. the way in which now that his Delphox does come in, as I go into the Slurpuff, this is my one chance to win. And I've put all my eggs into one basket. Original name, Simon. Please come through. I go for Belly Drum here, and I have a massive heart attack. As soon as I see Delphox go after me, my first thought is, uh-oh, the Citrus Berry isn't going to pop, or worse, it's raw, and that's game. Luckily for me, we survive on about 7 HP from memory, which is a little bit, and then we get the Citrus Berry. Now, we come down to the final 2 stages. 1. We have to hit this play rough, and we do so. And that's another very important thing. This matchup now comes down to, can I play rough the Ditto? I did get a crit there. I think the crit would matter because I'm guessing how bulky Sharp was. I would imagine that it is sort of Fizz Def. Really sorry about the crit. I did not realise that until after the game, but I do think he got pretty lucky earlier. We do hit the second play rough, which is definitely important. And this is where I know the game is locked. Now we go for the Energy Ball with our Slurpuff and Aqualiva, whatever it is, the Quag. It's not shiny Sharp. You got to do a better job hunting your shinies every week, mate. We do get the Energy Ball, do a massive amount. We get the Spadef drop, doesn't matter, it's unaware. And the EQ comes in, and it does about... well, it kills us. And Slurpuff dies. But Puff definitely wins the MVP of this match. Good job getting crit on Delphox, Puff. You good boy. It's the weaker Puff, it's not Jigglypuff, as Lachlan would like to say. And now we go into Komodo, and we know that a Drain is going to win us the game. And this is where I think my prep really came in handy. As I said before, I'm a little bit mad in how I played. Definitely sacking the Sizzle so early really hurt. And also as well, not getting up my rocks with my Komodo early game, because the plan was to hazard stack Sharp to put everything in range of the Slurpuff. But he did make some very nice plays. The Xurkitree misplay definitely hurt us. And at the end of essentially week 3, but for me, week 2 really, the MVP of the season so far has been Xurkitree, going 4-1. This week, Slurpuff did get the MVP race. This week, Slurpuff did get the MVP. Lando won last week as it shut down the big boy Mimikyu. This week, it was my Slurpuff. Let me know down in the comment section below what you thought of the match. Yes, Burb can make misplays. Oh no, what a surprise. Massive shout out to everyone as big we take on the Mastodon Gastrodons, coached by your boy Masto, in one of the most hype matches we have. Essentially, for people who don't know, currently in New South Wales and Australia. I don't know why I said both, it's a bit of repetition, but we have the State of Origin going on. And luckily for me, there's 2 big boppers on the side of Queensland that I do play in, I think, week 4 and week 9, being both Arapdos and Podonison. Masto is going to be a formidable threat next week. However, he hasn't started too well, but our comp, Mike Sachs with Masto in it, every time he's been in the league, he's made playoffs. He's made some Pokemon so broken that we should consider banning them the next season. I still don't know why Lanoon's illegal and not Genesect. Lanoon went 10-2. Huh? I think there's something wrong with these admins. But until next time, guys, peace.